Hey guys, Kent Clothier. Welcome to today's video podcast. I'm excited that you're here. I got a very good friend of mine, Chantel, joining us for today's quick little case study call. Chantel, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for doing this for me. As always, guys, we're here to show you, introduce you to people from around the country that are using our systems and show you really, what it takes. Have real people share real stories of, success, real stories of struggle, what they've overcome, all that kind of good stuff out there. I think it's important that we, share all that kind of stuff with you guys so to prove to you that indeed this can be done and you can do this right there in your own market. With little or no money, with no experience, all that kind of good stuff. So we're going to continue to bring people on here that have started exactly where you are and have continued to persevere and continue to use the systems and the strategies and all the kind of good stuff out there and ultimately to had success with it. Now, in all transparency, Chantel, before we get started, I just want everybody to know that Chantel has been, I guess, one of our students with our systems for several years now, right? And then you and I have on two different occasions worked together with some continuing education, right? One time in a group setting down in Tampa, we got to spend a couple days together. And I think it was 5 or 6 other people. We really spent some time working on your business in a real intimate environment and really showing you what's going on, myself and Jason. And then we've also spent additional time together here in my offices in La Jolla and some weekly coaching as well. So I want you to, again, in just complete transparency with everybody out here, it's not like you just flipped a switch and all of a sudden this started happening for you. You've been working very hard, very diligently at this for a long, long time. So before we get into it too much, let's just kind of let you introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are, a little bit about your business, the name of your business, where you're located, market, all that kind of good stuff.
Thanks for having me on, allowing me to share my story with your audience. It's very cool, and I'm very proud to represent all of your products for sure. My company is Realty Investors. We're family owned and operated here in the Sacramento market. That's inclusive of both Sacramento and Placer counties. We also have some properties on the outskirts as well, but for the most part, we try and focus on Sacramento and Placer County. So we both wholesale to other investors in our market as well as flip properties our own, and that's, I think, one of the things we're going to talk about today was our most recent flip.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? That's a great segue. Let's just do that. Let's talk real quick about your recent success here. I know you've got one that you're excited about, and I want to share it with everybody. Tell us a little bit about what happened and how the whole thing went down.
Yep, absolutely. So as Kent had mentioned earlier, I buy into and have 1-800-SELL now in my marketplace here in Placer County as well as some areas in Sacramento. So with that product, I was able to secure this property I'm talking about in Placer County, where from introduction to the seller to purchasing the property was less than 3 weeks at the end of 2013. This property was in really bad shape. It took like 5 40-yard dumpsters to clean that bad boy out.
Wow.
It was pretty severe. That being said, the cool part about this too is that I'm private lenders now, and I have a private money lender that helped me with the 100% purchase price on that property because he knew exactly what I was doing, how I was modifying the property, and what success we could come up with a higher value. So he completely provided the funding for the entire purchase price of that property, which was phenomenal. So from the time we purchased the property until a complete renovation was done, and I'm talking complete renovation, it was about 7 months to the time it closed because we ended up converting it from a 3-bedroom to a 4-bedroom with an additional office space. They had done the work for the 3rd bathroom, so we just remodeled that, but we did have to put some headers in and some beams to make it we wanted, county approval. New sewer line, which cost a boatload of money. So it was absolutely beautiful when we were done.
So purchase price was how much?
$220,000.
All right, so $220K at the end of 2013. How much did you end up putting into it?
Right about $100,000.
Okay, so you're in it for $320K. Roughly 7 months later, you close. What'd you sell it for?
sold it. We listed it for 419 and we sold it for 435.
Wow, 435. So a roughly, give or take, $115,000 gross profit. So after commissions and everything else, what'd you end up at?
Right about, I'd say right about 80, 85.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Check this out. So I have a story to share with you, right? So as you know, we went down to Southern California in a bus with our whole family, my nieces, my brother, who helps me run my business. And so the bank calls me, and the transaction was late in funding, so we were really nerve-wracked about it. The bank calls me and says, Mrs. Urbancic, I'm calling to let you know there's a wire transfer that we're receiving in company. I said, great. She said, are you expecting it? I said, yes. And she said, would you like to know how much it is? And I said, sure. She said, $199,445.96. I was like, can you repeat that, please? And so everyone's in the bus is like being quiet. So I literally tore a little piece of paper off of the paper bag that we had all of our munchies on for the road trip, and I wrote that number down. When I got home, I had my wire transfer confirmation, $199,000.
That is awesome, girl.
Yeah, now, part of that's my lender's money, but I cannot tell you what it was like to celebrate that moment with my family. It was incredible. It was really, really awesome.
Well, I know you worked really hard at it. We talked about it a lot. I know that you took on a monster there, right? And you persevered, and you kept your head down, and you kept pushing. You wouldn't give up. I know, what was the big, if you had to, I've never asked you this, but what was the big takeaway from that project, right? Because that was unlike pretty much anything you'd ever done before, right? This was a big deal. So what was the big takeaway for you?
It was a huge deal. And I think one of the big takeaways for me was don't get caught up in everybody else's drama in your marketplace. Keep your head down, stay focused on your own business, and trust in your knowledge. If you invest in your knowledge and you invest in your confidence as well to know the industry, know the business. I've been licensed as a real estate agent since 12 years. My dad did contracting work when I was little. He taught us how to do most everything. So people get wrapped up in the drama of real estate and the networking and this person knows more than you know. And you know what? If this is something that you're meant to do, keep your head down, keep focused on your business and what you're doing, and just keep pushing forward.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know that I could have said it any better than that.
Yeah, well, let me further this because I really wanted to share this with you today. It's something that we haven't talked about before either, but it's really important. When I was down in Southern California for that trip, we went down for my parents' wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
And we took a big family photo. See that?
I love it.
Yeah. So that lady in the middle is my great grandma Kitty, right? So here's the really cool thing about this. It's not cool that it happened, but this is my takeaway from this situation. My grandma passed away 2 weeks after that family photo was taken. It was very traumatic for our family, but we had this moment in time that was in part created by the success of real estate investors. My brother and I up working our fannies off. We went down there, we celebrated monumentally with our family, held each other tight. 2 weeks later, she lost her life. But here's the big takeaway from me, okay? My dad called that night. My mom called. They said she's being put on hospice. My dad called and said, your mom's by herself. I'm out of town. Can you get there? In hours, I was there. There was no, do you have paid time off? There was no, can you afford sick leave or vacation leave or exhaust your time? Because unfortunately, I've been in that position. There was no question in my mind that I was there. And you know what? I spent 2 weeks with my parents in the loss of our grandma. And I mean, it's a marketing word. It's priceless. But really, I don't have words to describe what it meant to have my brother having my back here, a business that was continuing to be successful without me being here physically in Sacramento. And I was able to be there for my family. Like I never, you never think you can, you want to, but I didn't have the restrictions and the binds and the employer telling me I don't have to be there. And that in itself is a huge takeaway for me, that we're going in the absolute right direction, regardless of the money, and that's fun too. But you know, the fact that I could be there when my family needed me is the most precious thing to me ever.
Well, let me share something here, because you know, I've been doing this for a long time. I've worked with a lot of people around the country, and I can absolutely tell you right now, there's going to be a lot of people that watch this, and I know this is going to blow your mind, but there are going to be people that watch this, and they're going to be looking at you and like, well, you know what, she's you know, I'd give anything to be in her shoes. She's got it all figured out, and she knows what's going on, and right, and what I want people to just understand, if I could wish for, you know, everybody's seeing this, to just, if I could take you back through the last 2 or 3 years that Chantel and I have worked together, and I know what this young lady has been through, it would be so epic in in everybody's understanding of that, how far you've really come, right? And that when people are watching this and they're sitting there and they're filled with that self-doubt, and they're filled with that, you know, well, again, you know, self-doubt, if not self-loathing, and just trying to figure out, oh, you know, sure, she can do it, or sure, you know, now she's got $100,000 to make it so much easier. People just don't understand all the sleepless nights. They don't understand looking at a bank account that's dwindling down. They don't understand the stress of family, people getting sick, and all these things that go on. And I know that you've been through, and it's been a lot of trauma that's happened in your life over the last few years, and the perseverance that takes. I just want people to fully appreciate that the simple fact of the matter is that this is the latest and greatest, and no doubt best version of you that I've ever seen, and I'm extremely proud of you, because I know that you have been right there where, quite frankly, thousands of people that are going to see this, where they are right now, and you just simply wouldn't give up. This is, you know, as much as I would love to take some of the credit, and I know that some of the mindset and certainly some of the systems and things that we've worked on together, I have no doubt were helpful. At the end of the day, none of that matters if you just simply weren't willing to give up on it. So you deserve a massive, massive amount of recognition for that. You're a fighter, girl. You are a fighter. And I remember the very first time we met down in Tampa, and you told me what your why was and why this really mattered to you, and the example you were trying to set for your nieces there, and to really push, and you're doing a hell of a job at it. You deserve a ton of credit, girl.
Thank you. You know what I remember about Tampa, and maybe this will help some of your viewers as well, is you said, when I was in Tampa, I was in a pretty bad spirit. I was pretty beat up by life, and so I was so focused on things. You said to me, you're so focused on what you know you don't want, you don't have a clue what you want. And that got me. That stung. That hurt a lot. And because I've never been that girl, I've never been that person. And so it took me back. I really had to start focusing on, you know, what is my why, and how do I grow into something I want to be? Because, you know, I will share with your audience that I don't have the stereotypic why that everybody else has, and it's probably still a journey for me. I got to be honest with you. I mean, a lot of people, and I love seeing all the stories online of people talking about their family and how great it is, and them taking their first steps and the birth and going to kindergarten. I love it, and that is not something, unfortunately, that my husband and I can take part in. And that's something that I'll share with you guys. So when you grow up, you're thinking your life is going to be a certain way no matter what happens, and then it's not. It takes you off. It throws you off your kilter, and you have to reevaluate everything. And so whether it's personal or whether it's business, I think you have to be really real with what is your reality. As I indicated to you in conversation before, it's not being poly-positive, it's not being negative. You really have to be real with yourself. You know, am I putting in the time I need? If I am putting in the time I need and I'm not getting the productivity that I want out of my business or out of myself, am I working smart? Am I working with the systems the way they're designed to be worked to get the things I need to be getting in the business? And so the more real you can be with yourself, and be very upfront with your why to yourself and how dedicated you are and your desire to go forward, and challenge yourself to be humble. Challenge yourself to say, I don't have all the answers, but I have the resources to go get them, because I may not have built an empire yet, but I know Kent has. So I'm going to go talk to Kent. And you have to be humble about it. You have to say, I don't have all the answers, but if I don't, I'm going to go find them.
Great advice, girl. Great advice. I couldn't have said it better myself. I was going to ask you what your big advice would be to everybody, but I think I just got it. I mean, I think that's probably. I think I'm gonna make you end it right there, because you said it perfectly, right?
All right. You're not gonna tell me to zip it?
No. But I will tell you. I will tell everybody that's out there that there's a. And Chantel's a great example of this. There's time and time again we run into people. I run into people that they're so busy telling me what it is that they need to learn. They've heard it from this webinar, they've heard it from that call, or they've been to this 3-day event, this seminar, whatever the case may be, right? Oh, I got to learn how to do this and got to learn how to do that. They're so busy with so much information that they don't have a clue, that they don't even know what they're talking about, right? That this business, quite frankly, is not easy, but it is very simple. It is very straightforward. And when you do get around, as you said, people that know what they're doing, and they've proven the systems, and they've paid their dues, and they've gone through and gotten beat up and beat down and kicked to the ground and fought back, and when you surround yourself with people like that truly understand what it takes, the process of getting yourself around those people is invaluable, because suddenly their experience becomes yours. And instead of you thinking, well, I've got to go do this and I got to learn that, and it all becomes a process of, dude, just trust me and do what I'm telling you to do. If you will just say again.
I said sometimes that's the hardest.
Absolutely.
I don't trust, but I trusted you.
Yep. I mean, that's just what it is, right? And that's what it is. When you go through that process, that learning curve of just do this, do this, do this, do this, and follow that process, it can absolutely be life-changing. And in fact, I know you were a part of a group that was working with me. And not only did you see it in your own business, but we saw it with the other guys as well. Guys that were, kind of kicking and screaming, fighting. I don't want to do it your way. I want to do it my way. But the fact that I've invested money with you, I'm gonna kind of resign to the fact that I will do it your way. And then they looked up 30, 60, 90 days later, and sure enough, things had started to change. So I think that's part of this whole process is, as you said, learning to be humble, learning to kind of just realize that there is a very simple formula here, and that if you will follow it often enough and deliberately enough and with enough discipline, it is not a matter of if it will work for you. It's just simply a matter of when. Right?
Absolutely. Yep.
All right, girl. I appreciate you very much for sharing that. That's cool stuff. Really exciting. Tell your family I said hi. I'm glad you got to celebrate all that with them. As we've said before, you and I, time and time again, that's what it's really all about, right? Is creating those memories, creating those moments. And I'm glad you got to do that. And I really appreciate you sharing with us today.
No problem.
All right.
Thanks so much.
All right, girl. Take care.
You too.
Bye.